if y'all haven't been paying attention. Don Lemon, man. Don Lemon. His initials are DL. So you can't get no better than that. You can't. I mean, you can't. I mean, it's perfect, right? Don Lemon, man. Don Lemon has been in the news recently for a lot. He's always in the news. He is a homosexual who's in politics. If you don't know who Don Lemon is, he's a homosexual who is married to a white man, and he is a black man himself. Which he's really just a white man, but he just has a little bit of melanin in his body. But yeah, he's a homosexual, and he's married to a white man, and he's always in the news, but he's been in the news recently specifically for this situation right here. So let's read this right here. Protests clash with ICE arrests of sex offenders in St. Paul. St. Paul is in Minneapolis, if you don't know, which Minneapolis has been basically just going up, going crazy within the last, few months. Brooke, how you doing, sweetheart? What's going on? Welcome to the live. So let's read this. On January 18th in St. Paul, ICE agents tried to arrest 2 convicted sex offenders with removal orders, but protesters blocked access with horns and bodies, letting the men escape. So it's so crazy that we live in a world now where you got people trying to protest and save sex offenders. That's the world we living in. People are so, backwards thinking, where they now, because they so politically connected, that they will, override that just to stay on a political side, not even caring that the person is a sex offender is wild. Shout out to Notre Dame with the $2 donation. Appreciate you. Let's keep reading though. Agents briefly detained elderly U.S. citizen Shong Li Tao, which clearly he's an Asian. I'm assuming that's probably I'm assuming that's Chinese. I don't know. So another immigrant. Detained elderly U.S. citizen Shong Li Tao in Sub-Zero code, releasing him without charges after he matched the description. Demonstrators later disrupted a church service, which is wild. So these people they are against God in general, right? At this point, and I just feel like at this point, if you are a part of the liberal left, you definitely against God in every single way. But demonstrators later disrupted a church service, chanting against ICE as children fled. Don Lemon live streamed it, later calling congregants entitled white supremacists, drawing backlash from figures like Elon Musk and Nicki Minaj. Officials launched probes into potential face act violations for the worship interruption, violating persecutions. Shout out to the donations. Shout out to Rochelle with the $10 donation. Jealous, you are better looking than her. Keep up the goods, NCO, with educational. Thank you, Rochelle. I appreciate that. Leftiness, shout out to Leftiness with the $5 donation. Good afternoon, peoples. Happy Wednesday, FBA. You know that. I appreciate you with the $5 donation, Leftiness. Y'all funny, man. So we gonna get into all of this, man, and we got to talk about Don Lemon versus Nicki Minaj, man. Y'all know Nicki Minaj. She got the Barbs is all gay. They all gay men. So she going against her own group of people. So we about to break all this down, man. Shout out to Twitter for having it set up this way. These are some which they saying. I mean, I guess it's a protester. Supposedly he's sitting on the back of a car with it look like an AR. So I don't know. I guess that's supposed to be I don't know. I guess supposedly it's supposed to be a protest. There goes some more stuff right here.
We're here to arrest a child sex offender, and you guys are out here honking.
Oh, they're not. No, we're press. We're not.
That vehicle right there is honking and impeding our investigations while we're trying to arrest a child sex offender.
I think it's funny too. It's ironic that a lot of the ICE protesters, or not a protester, a lot of the ICE agents are Latino. I don't think that's done for no reason. I'm not saying there's no white ones, there's no black ones, but a lot of the ICE protesters, or I keep saying protesters, ICE agents happen to be Latino. So that's funny that, that that's the case. It's ironic.
Trying to arrest a child sex offender. That's who you guys are protecting. Insane. That's what we're doing. My word's not for you. My word is not for you. I don't have to do it. It's insane. It's insane how you can be
Okay. Okay, so they protested at a church, which is crazy, but you know, he's a homosexual, so I don't expect him to have no respect for any type of you know, religion or any type of code or any type of anything. So he decided to live stream at the church that got protested into and trying to get news for his stuff. Because I guess Don Lemon is not a part of CNN no more, from what I heard. But let's listen to this. And this is inside of a church. Why is you trying to, like, what? Like, come on now.
This is unacceptable. It's shameful. It's shameful to interrupt a public gathering of Christians in worship. So,
but there were folks who will say,
I have to take care of my flock.
okay, but listen, we live in there's a constitution in the First Amendment to freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and protest.
We're here to worship. We're here to worship Jesus because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world is Jesus Christ.
You can't have a conversation about, regardless of what your religion is, I don't really care. You can't expect to have a logical conversation with a homosexual. You just can't when it comes to any type of, like I said, religion, code, when it comes to any type of integrity. He's a homosexual, so he doesn't believe in any of that because he gets penetrated. So for him, nothing of that matters. Nothing of code matters. Nothing of any type of pride having it. Your manhood is completely gone. You're not a leader. You're a homosexual. He gets penetrated. He gets plunged from the inside out. So there's you can't expect anything. Like, why? It's no point of him. You wasting your time. That man is a homosexual. He has. What are we talking about? Like, it's just like, what are we talking about? I wouldn't even have wasted my time talking to this man.
The hope of the world is Jesus Christ.
His name is Don Lemon. His last name is a fruit. You don't think that's for no reason? His initials are DL. You don't think that's for no reason?
I want to be very respectful. Please don't push me, though.
We're here to worship Jesus. Yes. That's why we're.
What'd he say?
We're here to worship.
Hold on.
Because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world is Jesus Christ.
I want to be very respectful. Please don't push me, though.
We're
If he did push you, what was you gonna do? I wish I would get checked by a gay nigga in the church.
We're here to worship Jesus. Yes. That's why
you supposed to be in a choir. You're not supposed to be in a choir, but a lot of these gay churches, they be in the choir, they be the pastor in the congregation and all that. Man, I wish I would. But you know, in a lot of these black churches in America, they let the gay men run the church, unfortunately.
We're here. Okay. That's why we're here. Okay. That's what we're about.
Don't you think Jesus would be understanding
we're about
and love these folks?
We're about spreading the love of Jesus.
But did you try to talk to them as a Christian?
No one is willing to talk.
Okay.
Who are you? You get your hole penetrated and plunged. You get your completely obliterated by another man. What are you telling me to talk to? You can't tell me anything. You playing poop. You can't tell me about nothing. I'm trying to keep my composure and use my words correctly. You playing poop all day. So you're not about to sit here and tell me who I should and should talk. I wouldn't even want to have your hand nowhere near me because it's been inside of another man. Your fingers shouldn't be nowhere near me. I wouldn't even want you to touch me. Get away from me. You're despicable. You're disgusting.
I have to take care of my church and my family, so I asked that you actually would also leave this building.
You don't want us to chronicle what happened?
Unless you're here to worship.
I'm always worship. I'm a Christian.
We're here to
Boy.
Worship. We're here to.
A person that believes in abortion, a person that believes a man can be a woman and you should mutilate the bodies of children because they feel like they're a boy or they feel like they're a girl. A person who supports homosexuality, a person who who promotes sexual liberation, a person who promotes all of these negative things that this society operates in is also claiming that they're a Christian. Boy.
Worship. Okay.
Thank you very much.
This is unacceptable.
It's the world we live in. So that's Don Lemon. This is Don Lemon, right? This is Don Lemon. This is what he's doing.
Charges in this case. I see various crimes that have occurred. Exactly what they are, I'm not going to flag, but the FACE Act has been mentioned as one of the predicates there. In other cases, the Biden DOJ used the Klan Act conspiracy charges tacked on to the FACE Act in the case of protests outside abortion clinics to bring much longer sentences. So there are a number of tools available to us. Who funded this? What else? What other crimes may have occurred? Was there a use of the wires or the mails in preparing for this event? Did anyone cross state lines to do this. All of those are potential predicates for additional federal charges.
Armin, I've just pulled up the Klan Act because this is the first time that I've heard this mentioned. This is a act that was passed in 1871, correction there, to combat the Ku Klux Klan and protect African Americans' voting rights, especially the Enforcement Act, which is known as the Force Act. So here's some of the information on screen. Would you mind breaking down for us, because we have just read the FACE Act and how this is an obscenity to the FACE Act, an obvious and egregious demonstrable violation of the FACE Act, because they were entering a place of worship, harassing and threatening. We just played a video of a man, a bearded man, who was threatening to attack the Christians that were worshiping there. So it seems like an obvious FACE Act violation. But the Klan Act here, it is on screen. First time I've heard it mentioned. Can you unpack this for us, Harmeet?
Yeah, the Klan Act is one of the most important federal civil rights statutes, and it goes back to the time when President Lincoln emancipated the slaves, and yet the southern states, Dixiecrats mainly, were refusing to give them equal rights. And in fact, that you had sheriffs and you had law enforcement harassing the newly freed slaves. So the Klan Act is a law that makes it illegal to terrorize citizens, to violate their civil rights, to get together and conspire to violate the civil rights. It is often used against law enforcement, but is now used against others as well. So whenever anyone conspires to violate the protected civil rights of American citizens, the Klan Act can be used to bring a conspiracy charge. We in the federal law enforcement part.
So wait, are they talking about using this against the protesters, or using this against ICE? I'm confused. Are they saying this is against the protest? Like, DOJ announces intention to charge Don Lemon under the Ku Klux Klan Act. Okay, so they're saying that this is against Don Lemon. I mean, I don't give a damn. I'm just curious. I just wanted to make sure, because it wasn't. So the protesters. Okay.
Parlance called.
So Don and the okay.
That's 241 and 242 civil and criminal conspiracies. And so what the Biden administration did is, if 3 grandmas got together to pray outside an abortion clinic for the souls of the people inside, and including the unborn children, they would say, oh, that's not just a violation of the Klan Act, that's a conspiracy to violate the civil rights of women going in there to get abortions. And so we're going to add additional charges and punish that more and make it from a misdemeanor under the FACE Act to a felony under the Klan Act. And President Trump pardoned the pro-life protesters in those cases. I have recently defended successfully in the 11th Circuit a case called Oropesa, a case of Jane's Revenge, the pro-abortion protesters violently attacking crisis pregnancy centers in Florida. And we had the court uphold the Klan Act criminal enhancement to the FACE Act. So I know this is very deep in the weeds, but the point is, there are a the FACE Act is just the start. Like I said, you have material support for disruptive activities. You have conspiracy to violate civil rights. You have potentially the use of other instrumentalities to commit crimes. And so some of these folks who did this have self-identified. Don Lemon himself has come out and said he knew exactly what was going to happen inside that facility. He went into the facility, and then he began, quote unquote, committing journalism. And as if that's sort of a shield from being an embedded part of a criminal conspiracy. It isn't. And so, we're getting our ducks in a row. We're putting the facts together. And this is a very serious matter. Come next Sunday, nobody should think in the United States that they're going to be able to get away with this. Everyone in the protest community needs to know that the fullest force of the federal government is going to come down and prevent this from happening and put people away for a long, long time.
I mean, they do that when it comes to people committing crimes. I mean, if you trying to basically harbor a fugitive, or you trying to protect a fugitive or whatever that is, or a criminal, whatever it is, then you're gonna be charged for that. So the fact that they was going to get somebody who was a sex offender, and then people decided to protest just because we just don't like ICE, then all y'all deserve to be charged for that, because you protecting a criminal. I mean, that's wild to me. I think that's just, and it's not even like, it's different levels of criminality. That's a whole nother level of criminality. You a sex offender? Oh no, you done lost me there. You deserve whatever gonna come with that. Especially depending on exactly what they was doing. But yeah, you done lost me there on that one. What is this? Federally charging a black man with the KKK. I'm okay there. I don't even want. Okay. Okay, so I'm assuming this is where they came in and actually protested the church. This is exactly when they first came in. I'm assuming because it looked like everybody's sitting down, so it looked like a lot of people don't even know what's happening. Oh wow.
Renee good. Renee good.
So you got the weak white males of America, right? And then you got the fat, loud black woman right here in the front screaming and yelling, who probably ain't even a black American if she is, but fat, loud, nasty, somebody's baby mother. And the whole time, this is all being correlated by the fat, ugly, blue-haired, dirty, despicable, liberal white woman who is taking over all of this. And we know historically they always use, black women to push whatever movement these white women want. And then black women get the short end of the stick because you got the fat, nasty, loud ones right here who make it worse for everybody else. And then again, of course, you got the homosexual white American man that sits around and, allows these things because he don't got his woman in check.
Good. Renee good.
Inside of a church, by the way. Inside of a place of worship. Inside of a place of worship.
Renee good.
I just think it's funny. No, I'm not a Republican, but I don't never see these things on the opposite side as much as you see it on the left side. And then you look at this nigga. Look at this nigga. Big fat nasty nigga right here. Big Madden 2K ordering wing dinners on a Friday night because he ain't got no woman around him because he ain't got nobody to cook for him. With Malcolm X and you making a disgrace of these pillars who a lot of people look up to. Black people who've done stuff for the community. You making a mockery out of all of it. Look at this fat nigga. Look at him. Looking at the camera. Look at him. Look at him. This nigga got on Jordans? What is that? Whatever he got on. You got on these are the men of America. Look at this nigga. Short, fat, dirty beard, fat black American or whatever he is. He might even be a black American. But whatever he is, I don't even want to associate the same skin color as this nigga. Because you don't represent me. That's why I say I don't represent nobody. I represent that CEO. I'm not a part of nothing. I don't represent nobody. I represent me. Because this nigga is not a part of me. I don't know what this nigga is. Or who this nigga is. He's probably gay.
Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are your people? Why are you not at Whipple every day fighting for the humanity, standing for our people? Where are you? You drink your coffee, you got your jewelry, you have your nice clothes, but what do you do? What do you do to stand for your Somali and Latino communities?
Oh boy.
You have no comment. Exactly.
I would have grabbed that phone. I wish you would come up to me and I'm at church. And first of all, we have to talk about this too, because I will hope that this is not his woman, because why you would allow another man to film and bring a camera up to your woman's face and ask her questions, right? That's some of the most disrespectful things that you can do. Or some of the most, not some of, but it's one of the most disrespectful things that you can do is address a woman when she's with her man before you address the man. That's number one, because she has no obligation to even say anything to you. And I don't think she said anything back. She didn't even say nothing back, so she did her job, right? Because ladies, you should never speak to any man that's not your man. If any man talks to you, revert everything to your man. You shouldn't even be speaking. You should only speak when your man allows you to speak. So that's good. But the fact that he didn't take that phone and shove it down his throat and call the phone so he can sit there and have a phone ringing in his body, and just think about that. There is an iPhone ringing in your body right now because you try to come to a church and protest. Now you looking stupid. I would have called the phone to make you look dumb. So the fact that he didn't handle his business right there, I would have handled my business right there. But also, again, you got to talk about, again, you got these type of men in America today too. So.
What do you do to stand for your Somali and Latino communities? I'm not going to comment. You have no.
What does the Somali Latino community do for America? What do they do? Besides come over here and get a handout? What do they do? That's a genuine question. For anybody that want to answer that question for me in the chat, your content is greatly appreciated. Appreciate you, Caesar. What do they do for America? What have they historically done for America that is like, I'm genuinely curious. Besides come over here and get a handout. Come to an already established country. You can't say that you do much for a country that is already established. It's already established. You came to a already established country. I can see if this country was like nothing and like you took a hand in building up the wealth and the GDP and the economic system and the education system and the healthcare system and all of that. I can see because you can make an argument. What in mass has these people done to America, done to make America better? Nothing besides get a handout and classify as white on paper. The Latinos, a good majority of them, they classify as white, so they're white. The difference is they're not even the Anglo whites. They came over here later, so they're the fake whites. Just like you Europeans, you're fake white. You got over here in the late 1800s, early 1900s. You're not even really white. You're European. You're Irish. You're Eastern European. You're not even really white, right? You're a new guy. You're new. You're not even an Anglo. You weren't in here from the inception. You're not even white for real. I mean, you white, but you're not white. You want to be white. It's like the Italians. You're not even white. They didn't even classify you as white. You was able to become white in the 1950s. Shut up. But like you came to an already established country, and damn sure I don't want to hear nothing. At least some of the Latinos, I guess some of the Mexicans, they do something. At least you can get some benefit out of one of them. At least. What do you get from a Somali? Besides a couple, maybe some fine East African women, a couple of them fine. But what do we get? That's not nothing to value. You hit it and get her on somewhere. And then she go back and act like she was a devoted Muslim. Whole time she getting clapped from the back, still with the hijab on her head. What else do you get from them, fellas? I don't get nothing from them. Injera bread and all that, it ain't that good for to stay around anyway. At least Mexican food is good. I'm not saying I'm with them for them staying here, but I'm just saying at least Mexican food, like at least we got tacos, you know, we got burritos, you know what I'm saying? They'll help you move in. If you in Atlanta, you can go to a Lowe's, they stand in front, hey, we need some work for you. Hey, can you have me $20? You can make them move in apartments or something like that, and they'll do it for you, right? At least the country is right there. So we do have some type of trade that America gets from Mexico and all of that, the military, at least, right? At least something. What do you get from a Somali? Besides complaining and scamming and big foreheads and classifying us black and then coming over here and committing crimes, and then we got to take the burn end of the stick on that. What do you get from East Africa? Nothing. What are we talking about, my nigga? Somebody said Mexican food do be hidden though.
Latino communities. I'm not going to comment. You have no comment. Exactly. Renee Good.
Look at this nigga. Look at this nigga. Michael Strahan looking at. Look at this nigga. You look like you about to suck dick. What is wrong with you niggas? He looked like he about to take a cock all in his mouth. A huge, big white shaft. That's what he want right now. That's why they got. I ain't never in my life put both of my hands in front of my mouth and did that. Never. You know you weird when you a man and you gotta scream and then make a tunnel so you can scream. You about to suck a. That's why you doing that. Weirdo nigga.
Renee Good. Renee Good. Freedom. We have a duty to win. We must love and support one another. All these comfortable white people who are living lavish, comfortable lives while children are dragged into concentration camps. You're living real life nice.
Concentration camps.
Lives with your lattes, doing absolutely nothing for your Latino and Somali brothers and sisters.
Brothers and sisters, Latino and Somali brothers and sisters. Why don't you go over there? Why don't you go to Somali? Like, this is my thing. Look, when white people be saying, like, if you don't like it here, go. I used to think like that was kind of me when I was like young, and I was kind of like, look, I'm not saying America is the greatest country, not meaning as far as perfection, right? We got a lot of issues that I just despise about America. Don't get it twisted. I love this country. I love America. I love where I'm from. I wouldn't want to be from nowhere else. America is the greatest country in the world. But I got some issues with America, especially me being a black American. I got some major issues with America. But at the end of the day, this is still my country. It's still my country at the end of the day. So when white people be saying, like, if you don't like it here, get out. You know what I mean? Like, get out. If you don't like it, go. You taking up space. You taking up space. Bitch. That's the only one y'all gonna get for today. No more. I ain't gonna cuss no more. But you taking up space.
You come here to a man wearing a suit is a preacher to Jesus.
You know how bad it is for a man that you screaming and yelling and like you can barely be heard? Like he's screaming at the top of his lungs and like he's still like, can't nobody really hear him for real?
Latino and Somali brothers and sisters. You come here to a man wearing a suit is a preacher? Did Jesus wear a suit? Did Jesus profit off the words? No. Jesus would dine with immigrants. Do not touch me. Touch me again and see what happens.
Hey, you can't.
You are a fake Christian. Why are you not standing with your Somali and Latino communities? Why do I not see you out at Whipple every day protesting this attack on humanity? Where are you? You're sinners. You're pretending to be Christians. But we know you live an easy life, don't you? A very easy life while people are starving. Shame. Out now.
Man, they love that word, shame. You live an easy life. You have an iPhone. You know how easy it is for you to live in America and be able to walk somewhere and have freedom of speech, to be able to walk into a church with an iPhone and record it and post it on social media? You know how easy of a life that you have? You want to talk about having an easy life? You want to talk about having an easy life? Go to some of these countries. Go to West Africa. Go to the slums of Nigeria. What are you talking about? Do you help them people over there? Talk about having an easy life. You got the easiest life in the world. You're a white liberal who's a homosexual, probably. You got the easiest life in the world. You work at a millennial burger shop who think they special because they use newspaper as a plate. You don't do nothing. You didn't come up from no hard work and labor. You don't even got a lineage in the history of that. I do. My people do, Black Americans do. We can kick with our feet up. I live a nice, lavish lifestyle for a 28-year-old. You know why? Because of my lineage put in the work for me. What have you done? Besides sit and complain and want to be the white savior complex. What have you done? You ain't do nothing. You ain't doing nothing. You living in a free country that my people had laid out a game plan for you to do. You're a white liberal man. Talking about life. What are you doing for what are you doing? You ain't doing nothing but recording and walking into a church. You don't even know the political affiliations of these people. You just walking in a church. If you really wanted to take it there, why don't you walk up to the White House? Why don't you do that? Why don't you walk up to the White House? If you really got that much of an issue, if you really want some change, then be radical. Look, I don't agree with the January 6th protest. But hey, if you want to, hey, that's Black American stuff right there. Go look at all the slave rebellions of America. Or who set the foundation of that? Black Americans. I don't agree with the insurrection stuff because I don't agree with what they were doing it for. But at the end of the day, hey, I'm all with the radicalness. If you're trying to get busy, you got to get busy. If you want change, you got to create change. It's that simple. Protesting ain't, look, we've been protesting. Black Americans, then we created protesting. But we got there and got busy. We got in that mud. We got our hand out of that sand and put it in that mud. Come on, man. What you talking about? McQueen, what's going on with you? Look at this nigga. You know, let me say. You ever notice? It's always ugly niggas. It's always ugly niggas. And ugly old women with no man. They always ugly and fat. Every single time when it comes to, they always just ugly and fat. And they mad at the world, so they have to get that ugly and that fatness out, and that anger of it, and they got to go out there and do stuff like this. Look at her. Look at this nigga. Look at this nigga. White, dirty tongue. Look at them. Look at her. Substitute teacher, body fat.
Living real comfortable while the people starve. Living real comfortable while children are dragged into concentration.
Hey, you wouldn't go, boy, I tell you wouldn't go walk up to my car like that. Ooh, boy, how you been getting dragged through that snow? I would have turned you into a snowman, nigga. You wouldn't have walked into my car like that, boy, I promise you. You wouldn't have walked into my car like that, my nigga, recording me, boy. Boy, I would have turned you into a snowman. You've been looking like a stick figure in that snow. You would have got frostbite rock messing with me, boy, I tell you.
Camps, you're all
I pray the day somebody come up on me like this, recording me with their phone. Nigga, you crazy? I'm not no celebrity, nigga. My name Ant, nigga. I'm from Cleveland. I ain't no celebrity, nigga. I ain't got no. Hey, I'm gonna get up with you, man. I wish you, man. Watch out, man.
Living real comfortable, aren't you? Shame on you.
Hey, she real, man. You seen her clothes? That look. Hey, look how she closed the van. Look at her. Look at her. Look. Hold on, I gotta look.
Comfortable, aren't you? Shame on you.
I gotta put that in slow motion. Hold on. She mad as hell. Hold on. Look at her though. She salty as hell. Look at her.
Uncomfortable, aren't you? Shame.
Hey, she put her whole body in them. Hey, she put her whole body in her. She done twerked her whole body. Look. Look at her. She about to break her neck closing that motherfucker. Man, it's crazy. Oh, man.
Shame on you. Do something. Stand with the Somalis. Stand with the Latinos. Quit ignoring this injustice.
Quit ignoring this injustice. America is racist. I hate everyone. You guys are racist. I'm a white guy, and I don't like this. And I'm for the blacks and the Somalis and the Latinos. Yeah, it's racist. Now I'm gonna go home and order my DoorDash and play Xbox with my Wi-Fi and my monthly income that I get. That's around $7,000 a month because life is so hard, and I got it from the mud, and it's so crazy out here. And yeah,
suit and tie, and he hangs out with Christy Nome. How is?
See, this is what's wrong with America, man. This is why I hate my generation. I'm not saying their generation Z. I'm talking about just the society of America. Why, fellas, and I'm asking this to the fellas, right, specifically. Men, why do we allow niggas to do stuff like this? And it's not they don't get a knuckle sandwich for it. Like, this is what I'm talking about.
He wears a suit and tie, and he hangs out with Christy Nome. How is that a Christian? You're supposed to accept all immigrants, are you not? Why are you not going down to Whipple and joining us in protest against this inhumanity? You claim to be a Christian. Act like one.
Why do we live in a world where, like, this is okay? Like, the reason why these things continue to fly is because, first of all, weak males like this, because if you really had an issue, you would put hands on dude. But it's like, I'm just walking with my coffee and like my glasses, and I have my blazer on. I'm walking in the snow. Like, we're gonna get salad, and then we're gonna get quinoa, and then I'm going later we're going to Starbucks. And it's like, why do we live in a world where men are allowed to record other men walking down the street in the snow and talk crazy, and you're just gonna walk off?
Suit and tie, and he hangs out with Christy Nome. How is that?
Like, why is this allowed? Why are they not whooping this dude? They should be dragging it. They should have, man, dude. I just think it's wild. Like, we live in this new generation where, like, if they respond, now they the bad guy, not the dude that's following them and harassing them with a camera. And you know it's for attention, because if you really had an issue, you ain't got to get behind glass. Yeah, I have this big issue, but let me get behind glass and record it. No, if you really got a problem, nigga, you ain't got to be on no internet, none of that. If you really had an issue with these two, you gonna handle your business right then and there. I ain't got to record nothing, niggas. I don't need no outside attention from nobody. But it's like we live in this world where, like, this is okay. I know somebody said it's called assault charges. That's the problem. That's the problem. Dudes like this are allowed to win. The weak males of America are allowed to win. Because, and I'm not the guy to scream, I'm an alpha. But the alphas, the gladiators, the titans are getting played and destroyed by the weak, by the homosexuals, by the bums, by the lames. And society has made it that way to get all the other men to follow that line, because it looks like they always end up being the ones who win. Look at Hollywood. If you want to be successful in Hollywood, guess what? Somebody got to turn that chair on you. You know what I mean when I say turn that chair on you, right? You don't know what I mean? You about to find out. How bad you want to be a star? All out, too. With a small hat. He's suited and booted from the top of his head to his waist. Waist down, penis and all out, balls hanging. How bad you want to be a star? That's what's wrong with the world now. That's what's wrong with the world. The most powerful men have to bring down their masculinity to make everybody else happy. Think about that. Think about it. If you are too much of a man, you are a problem. But if you gay, if you soft, if you let your woman run you, they give you everything you want in the world. That's what's wrong with society. And they create things like laws and policies where that's the case. The men act like the women. It's crazy, man. The LGBTQ mafia. He should not be able to even walk amongst the men. He should be pushing a wheelbarrow for the rest of his life, taking a sledgehammer and smashing rocks so we can use it as fuel for something. Be productive. You're not productive.
A Christian. You're supposed to accept all immigrants, are you not?
It's just crazy the world we live in. The world we live in is just insane, bro.
Renee good! Renee good! Renee good! Renee good! Justice for Renee good! Justice for Renee good! Hands up! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
Boy, oh boy. What is this? Breaking. A group of liberal white women mostly have taken over a Target in St. Paul, demanding Target stop letting ICE and Border Patrol agents use their bathrooms. I kid you not. We live in a freaking clown world. We are one. We won't stop fighting. We won't stop fighting. So I want y'all to notice something. Every single woman in this video is either very ugly or very fat. None of these women likely have a husband. And I want y'all to understand something when it comes to these feminist women. And I want y'all to understand something when it comes to women that like to push the liberal left liberal left movement, specifically liberal white women. And unfortunately, we have the delusional liberal black women who follow in the footsteps of the liberal white woman. She's a homosexual, and half of these other women are homosexuals. And most women, right? A lot of what people don't like to talk about is a lot of women who are homosexuals are not homosexual because they necessarily want to be. It's because they have to be, because they're too ugly to attract a real man, which is why you see mostly WNBA basketball players. Look, baby, if you over 5'11", you don't have that much choice. If you 6'1", 6'2", 6'3", you gotta start bumping coochie. You don't have no choice. You gotta start bumping coochie. Who gonna be with you? You're ill built. You're not attractive. You got big, broad shoulders. You have no choice but to start bumping coochies. You have no other choice. That's why you have an influx of WNBA basketball players who are usually the tallest women around, and they're all gay. You don't think that's a coincidence? They're all homosexual women. It's because they don't have a choice. And we need to correlate that the same way with this. These liberal feminist women who support abortion and support women empowerment, which is women empowerment nowadays is not even about equality. It's about superiority and sexual liberation. It's about being half naked and being able to suck everybody and not be judged for it and still be treated like a woman from the 1950s. That's what we live in now. Or just, like I said, be a homosexual like her, clearly. And it's funny because they love to talk about the patriarchy. They love to talk about the way that men operate, but then they dress and act like a man. Think about that. Just think about that real quick for a second. I'm a woman and I'm a homosexual and I hate men. I hate the patriarchy. I hate how men operate. So I'm going to dress in all black and put on boots, and I'm going to dress like a guy, and I'm going to get a shortcut. And I'm going to act like a guy, even though I hate men and men are all bad. I'm going to act like a guy. Huh? That don't sound crazy to y'all? And then you have the weak effeminate. Stop. You got the weak males right here who sit on their knees because they suck. Who sit on their knees with a sign and let the women lead. That's what's wrong with society today. This only operates, all of these women right here, this only operates because we got too many weak men that are too scared to say what Ant's saying because I don't want to get called misogynistic. Well, I don't want to be mean. That's mean, Ant. You're harsh, Ant. Niggas in my comments, you niggas be 50 years old in my comments talking about some, man, Ant, you harsh, bro. Man, you too mean, man. I can't watch this, bro. You're too mean. You're not nice, bro. Shut up. You the problem with society now. You're the problem with society. I say this all the time. If we were in a Colosseum, if we were in Colosseum back in Greek times, Roman Empire, whatever, you dudes would be outside selling cabbages, wearing gray. I would be a gladiator holding a mighty sword with my foot over top of a lion that I just slain, with my balls dangling against the ground, with 50 women outside of the Coliseum with my 100 kids, because I can't be stopped, wearing red and purple and blue because it exudes wealth. You will be doing nothing. That's what's wrong with society today. Too many weak males who allow this because you're too scared to tell the truth. Because I don't want to be mean, bro. They're not going to like that. My mommy said so. Shut up. Your mama ain't no different than these hoes. Ugly, 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 ugly. Homosexual, ugly, ugly, homosexual. And half of these other women are homosexual too.
Target says that their mission is to support the joy of everyday life for all families. Then do it.
Do it now.
Justice over profit.
Justice over profit. People over.
I sit here not only as a mother or a grandmother, but I sit here as a great granddaughter of an immigrant. And I sit here.
You can't make it up. You can't make it up. Y'all heard that, right? Y'all heard it, right? Y'all heard it, right? Listen to what she said. Listen to what she said. Listen. In a room full of, if this is not the most white, person behind the camera on the other side, all white. You're the only so-called black person there. And listen to what she said.
But I sit here as a great granddaughter of an immigrant. And I sit here and I ask the target, you must stand with us. You must stop discriminating. You must stop treating immigrants wrong. You must give them better wages. You must give them an opportunity to have housing. You must.
Man, F these immigrants. They must go do what they need to do back in their homelands. I don't care where you from. I don't care about none of y'all. If you're from Central America, if you're from South America, if you're from Europe, if you're from China, if you're from Japan, if you're from wherever you're from, don't care. We can keep a couple big booty Ethiopian girls. We can keep a couple big booty Colombian women. We can keep a couple of them. But there needs to be a law and policy that they only got 50 words to speak a day. And if they can't cook, they got to go back home. If they go over 200 pounds, they got to go back home. That's the only rule if I was a dictator. If you a fine immigrant woman, you got a 50 word a day limit. And you only get about a set of like 50 words that you can actually use. So you got a 50 word a day limit and you got about 50 words you can choose from. And half the words is going to be about cooking and cleaning. That's it. And if you go past the 50 words, boom, getting sent home. Rikers Island, 2 weeks, and then you go back to your homeland. That's the only rule that I probably will have. So a couple of the fine immigrant women can stay. A couple of them. But you got to be in the house. You can't be seen outside. That's it. If they cook bush meat, they got to go. They got to go. We can keep a couple of the fine ones, though. And they got to be married. They got to be with a man. They need to make me the dictator, man. They need to make me a president. Get Trump up out of there, man. I don't like Trump anyway. He not doing enough. I've been saying it for a while. Trump ain't doing enough for me. I thought he was going to be way more radical than he is. Trump is weak. Trump weak.
You must give them an opportunity to feed their children. I sit here.
She's sitting there crying with her teeth. Oh, boy. YouTube going to demonetize my channel again.
Because this is the right thing to do.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, wow. That face is... I told y'all, it's always ugly women. It's always ugly women. And it's so messed up because this little boy right here, his father's not around. He's laying with his mother right now. He's going to be just like these other women. He's going to be just like them when they get older. Effeminate, soft, act like a girl, coddled, entitled, which is the average young man in my generation. This is exactly why. Because they grew up around their they grew up around their mothers who couldn't keep their legs closed to a good enough man and didn't want to listen and operate accordingly to the program. So they left their man, and now they raising these little boys, and they grow up to be the weak males of today. Most of the dudes in my generation, these little niggas that's 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, all in that age group, I would probably say 90% of the dudes in my age group are entitled crybabies who do nothing. You know why? Because they've never had to do nothing, because they haven't been in survival mode. I left the house at 18. I've been in survival mode ever since. I ain't had a job since 2020. Been in survival mode ever since. So I got a whole different perspective than a lot of these young niggas who be back at the day. I'm going to my mommy's house. I'm going to auntie's house. I'm going to cousin. No, you need to go to your own house, you weak little nigga. You don't do anything. I'm just going to lay on my mommy's shoulder. Get up, little nigga. You grown now. You about 9, 10 years old. You grown. You figure it out, little nigga. Go outside and chop wood. Couldn't have been my son.
I sit here because this is the right thing to do.
That's right.
This is why you can't let women lead. Women should not be leading anything but the kitchen and the young children. And that's not to diss women. That's to say that women are superior when it comes to that. Again, breaking. One of the anti-ICE protesters who stormed the church has been identified as Chantal Allen, a school board member for St. Paul Public Schools. This woman is in charge of your children's education. Any comment? Look at the teeth and the face of this, I don't even say woman, this thing here. And didn't I tell y'all homosexual? Didn't I tell y'all homosexual? The feminist movement ain't nothing but a bunch of homosexual women. Didn't I tell y'all that? Ugly women who have no possible way to attract a man. So they purposely have to be a homosexual because they're ugly and big. They have no choice. So they look like this. And these are the people that are teaching your children. These are the people that are teaching your sons and your daughters in these schools. These are the people that want to have drag queen shows, and they want to have drag queens read to your kids, and you're not paying attention. If you watching this, you need to very much so pay attention to what your child is learning at school, because they're getting indoctrinated. And the American education system is nothing but indoctrination, especially when it comes to college. It's nothing but indoctrination. I went to college in West Virginia, my nigga. West Virginia. I went to college in West Virginia. I went to college in New York, and I went to college in Chicago. Well, Illinois, I guess. Indoctrination, all of it. All of it is indoctrination, bro. All of it. I remember, let me tell y'all a story. Quick story. It's not going to be long. About 30 seconds. I had an art class my freshman year. I went to West Liberty University in West Virginia. I had an art class my freshman year, and it was a trans who was a woman that wanted to be a dude, I guess. And I was in the office hours with my professor, because I ended up switching my degree to business economics, or my major, but my initial major was graphic design. And my art teacher, I was talking to my art teacher about it, and I was telling him like a project, because you had to go in there and kind of confirm what the project was going to be so they could tell you if it was good and how you should go about it, right? So I'm like, yeah, I think I saw so-and-so, and I was mentioning the person. I don't remember what the dude name was, or what her name was, because it was a girl who acted like who wanted to be a dude. And I had said, yeah, so-and-so, yeah, and she, her project was cool, and I like what she did, and I kind of want to do something like that, but a little bit different. He was like, oh, you mean he? And I'm like, what do you mean? He was like, oh no, but that the whatever. I don't remember what the little girl name was, but he kept correcting me and kept saying he, and I'm like, you mean she? He was like, no, it's a he. And I'm like, okay, well, whatever it is. And I just continued to, go forward. And I was looking, I was like, when I left, in my head, because this was before it was so indoctrinated and it was so like, you're supposed to accept it as you do now. And I left my office hours that day. And I'm like, why do he keep saying that was a she? That's a he. Or that's a she. That's not a dude. That's a girl. I'm assuming she was like a dyke or something, or a stud or whatever. A bull dagger, whatever. A white one. The white ones that work at GameStop and shit. But it hit me like a couple years later, because all the indoctrination that they tried to push. And it's just like, me and that dude didn't see eye to eye in that conversation because he's indoctrinated. He don't have no backbone. He'll sit there and call a man a woman. He'll sit there and call a woman a man simply because of attire. And it hit me a couple years later, like, I'm not a part of the clique. I'm not a part of the crowd. I'm not a part of the indoctrination that these people operate in. I'm not a part of it. So, and of course, the girl was fat and ugly. But I'm just making that point to just say, like, that's the world we live in. This is Don Lemon. His last name is a fruit, and his initials are DL. So understand that.
And there's a certain degree of entitlement. I think people who are.
So this was after he went in there and interviewed the people in the church.
And there's a certain degree of entitlement. I think people who are, in the religious groups like that, it's not the type of Christianity that I practice, but I think that they're entitled.
Yeah, you practice the not Christianity that operates in getting your examined by another man for fun. That's the one you operate in, and we don't operate in that one.
And that entitlement comes from a supremacy, a white supremacy. And they think that this country was built for them, that it is a Christian country, when actually we left England because we wanted religious freedom. It's religious freedom, but only if you're a Christian and only if you're a white male, pretty much. And so, yeah, I absolutely 100%.
Who is we? You didn't leave anywhere. Who is we? We left. You didn't leave England. What do you mean we?
But it's an intimidation tactic. And, I said, I don't understand how I've become the face of it when I was a journalist. I do understand that I'm the biggest name there. And I'm also, as I was on with my producers this morning, you and Kylie talk all the time. My producers were saying, I said, how did I become the face of this? And my producer said, Don, you're a gay black man in America. And there's a certain degree of entitlement.
Oh, boy. First of all, you can't trust no nigga with absolutely zero facial hair. He has absolutely zero. He don't have a goatee. He don't have any mustache. And that's just because he likes play with his face. So he needs to make sure there's nothing getting in the way of poop getting inside of. He wants it all over his face because he's a disgusting man. So, you can't trust nothing what a nigga with no facial hair says. And again, his initials are DL and his last name is Lemon. Now, we needed to get into this as well. Absolutely. And also he has a terrible hairline. Exactly. FBA Nation, terrible hairline. But I want to get into this. So if y'all haven't been paying attention as well, Don Lemon got into it with Nicki Minaj, right? And this is what Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj is a part of the Republicans now. She wants to get the white approval from the Republicans because her album sales is going down and they're paying her, money to. They basically paying her money so she can continue to push and use her platform. So now she's a conservative woman. Whole time it's crazy because the conservatives will use a tether like that to promote things, but whole time she promotes everything that conservatives don't believe in, which is hypersexuality, which is not marriage, which is overly sexualization, which is drinking, smoking, twerking, and everything else that the conservatives and the Republicans claim that they're not a part of and they don't like, but they'll use Nicki Minaj, and they always use those type of women specifically to be the example of black women. When we know the example of black women, unfortunately, we know what the media does, but we know the example of black women who black Americans prop up is people like Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, Shahrazad Ali, right? I can name a bunch more. Who else? Rosa Parks. You throw her in there. Like, we prop up our own women, but the white conservatives and the Republicans, which we always call them out. Don't get it twisted. I'm not a Republican. They like to prop up those, and she's not even a black woman, right? She's a person from the Trinidad. She's an immigrant. So she's not even American. She's not even one of us. So, but let's see what Nicki Minaj said. This is the tweet that Nicki Minaj put out there. Hold on one second. Shout out to Shu with the $100 donation. Shu, I appreciate you. Much love. Shu says, Ant for president 2028. You know what I'm saying? They would end up killing me though, y'all. They wouldn't make me the president. They'd kill me. Because I'll make a lot of stuff illegal. First thing I'm implementing is never mind. Shu, thank you for the $100 donation. Much love to you, Shu. And if I missed anybody else's donations, it's because I didn't see it, not because I'm acting Hollywood. I always try to say thank you to every donation, no matter what it is. This is what Nicki Minaj said. Don cocksucking Lemon is disgusting. How dare you? I want that thug in jail. He would never do that to any other religion. Lock him up. Okay. So I'm assuming Don Lemon responded to her, and I want to go to, let me see if they put it under. Okay, Don Lemon responded to her. So let's actually go to, hold on. I want to go to, let me see. Let's see. I want to see his response. Shout out to Ebony with the $10 donation. I got to get in this kitchen and make dinner. Keep cooking, Aunt. Thanks for giving us great content and making us laugh. See, that's a good woman right there. Ebony doing exactly what she doing. She said, I got to get in that kitchen. Ebony, you deserve everything you get, girl. All right. Okay, so this is Don Lemon's response to Nicki Minaj. Let's look at DL Lemon's response, even though he's not DL, he's a publicly open gay man. But let's see what Don Lemon said.
So people have been asking me about responding to Nicki Minaj's unhinged, homophobic tweet about me. I usually don't respond to this stuff, but let me just say this. Nicki Minaj, stop talking about for which you know nothing about. This is out of your depth, by the way, and you are a homophobic bigot. You don't care about African Americans, and you're not an African American. From what I know, you are reportedly an undocumented citizen, so you should be deported under Donald Trump's rules. And the other thing is that your family members, you have one family member who is reportedly a sex offender, the other family member, your husband or whatever, a sex offender is your husband, and one of them is reportedly a pedophile. And you have nerve to talk about me and what you think that I do? Nicki Minaj, get a life. Stop being a pick-me. You should have put a pick-me doll on that damn tweet instead of a Chucky doll, because you are nothing but a pick-me. And I choose not to pick you. And so should black people, and so should gay people. Shouldn't buy your music. Clock that.
I mean, hey, the gay nigga ain't lying. I mean, look, I think it's funny too how, like, whenever it comes down to whenever it comes down to getting down to business, they start talking like foundational black Americans. Am I right? He done called out. He basically was just like, look, you ain't even FBA. So why are you even talking? You're an immigrant. You should get deported. You ain't even from here. It's funny. It's funny. You think he would be saying that if we wasn't standing on delineation? You think he'd be saying that? Hell no, he wouldn't be saying that. He wouldn't have said that, but we've made it to where that's something that people should stand on. So now he's standing on it because he wouldn't have mentioned none of that. But we go hard. We say what we say and we mean what we say. So now he just following our rhetoric. So this really, they on payroll though. You know what I'm saying? So he got to stay on the Democratic side. He got to do what he got to do. But this was, this was out of the loop for him. This was a lot out of left field. But I mean, he ain't lying though. He's not lying. And it's so funny too, because Nicki Minaj, the barbs are all mostly homosexual. And she's using, this is a lot of times what women like to do. Not all women who it pertains to. They love to, be connected to the LGBTQ. They love to be connected to it. And their best friends be gay and their best friends be studs. Their best friends be bisexuals and all of that. But then they'll use the same sexuality as a shaming tactic. I think that's funny. Nicki Minaj is somebody who has always, propped up the LGBTQ community because that's a big majority of her fan base. But then she used that same sexuality is a shaming tactic. So I think it's funny how, I guess homophobic, which I don't give a damn, but how homophobic it is. But I don't really care. I don't care. I think people should be homophobic. But yeah, I mean, he ain't lie. He ain't even lying. Is he even FBA? I think he is. I think Don Lemon is. I think he is. But yeah, Don Lemon ain't lying though. Little gay self, he ain't lying. So I'm actually not mad at what he said. I ain't mad at what he said. I don't know if she responded. And here we are. Okay, she got a Jamaican flag on her bio, so we know what this coming. We know what this coming with. This is the Jamaican woman speaking on this. Now I don't like these pro-American immigrants because they love they pro-American is completely different, right? When Black Americans, not all of us, but a majority of Black Americans, when we I guess pro-America, we have love for any American history or have American heritage. It's out of our own, propping ourselves up because we understand the imprint of this country. When these immigrants do it a lot of times, it's just to get white approval. It's just to get the white man to get likes and attention because they just want to separate themselves from the regular Black. And I'm the different Black because I'm a Jamaican and I'm African and I want to be with the white man. So let me just go. And they just basically just spew the rhetoric that white people like to spew. Black Americans, not all of us, but the majority of us don't have the mentality of me being pro-American is connected to whatever white people think. No, our pro-American is whatever we think, because we were here from the inception. Most Black Americans are more American than most white Americans because we've been here longer. But let's listen to what this Jamaican woman has to say based on this situation. So she's the same as a Nicki Minaj, basically. She might not even be documented, but we'll see.
Hey guys, this is Latina, your favorite community advocate. This message.
What'd she say? Latina? Oh, that's actually her name. Latina Brown. All right.
Is for Don Lemon, Mr. Lemonhead. You stormed a church with a bunch of paid agitators to stoke fear and division. Let me tell you something, sir. You would have never done that to a Black Christian church. I can tell you that right now. If you were in New York City or even in the hood and you were to storm a Christian Black church, I think the outcome would be very, very different for you, sir, for you and those agitators. You guys purposely targeted a white Christian church because you knew that they can't do nothing to harm you or stand up for themselves. Not that I'm condoning violence, but you knew that they weren't going to come after you guys the way that they should have. Because if you were at a Black church or a Hispanic church, you wouldn't even go to a mosque and storm inside. You would never do it. You purposely targeted a white Christian church just to harass them, and then tried to use the free First Amendment and that you're a journalist, you're reporting. You knew exactly what you were doing, and you should be held accountable. You and those paid agitators should be jailed. You violated the FACE
She not lying.
Act. Okay? That is a place to worship. That is not a place for you to storm in and harass a pastor and his worshipers. There is a time and place for everything, and that wasn't it, sir. You got egg thrown in your face, and then you want to come after the queen, Nicki Minaj? You're telling her to sit.
That's where the tether stuff start to happen. The queen is Missy Elliott. Let's get that out the way. The queen is Lauryn Hill. There's the Nicki Minaj is not first of all, let me not go there. Let me not go there. We need to stop. Look, when it comes to this female rap stuff, let's stop this. The most talented female artist of all time is Missy Elliott. I don't care what nobody say. Missy Elliott is the most talented female artist, rap-wise, of all time. And Lauryn Hill is right with her. Nicki Minaj is nothing but a wannabe Lil' Kim. Let's just keep it 100. Now, I'm not saying Nicki Minaj can't rap. She's not a bad rapper. But, I mean, I think she rap better than Meg Thee Stallion. I think she rap better than Ice Spice. But she's not nowhere on the level. So the queen, no, that's not how that operates. Missy Elliott and Lauryn Hill. But let's keep going. I put Foxy Brown up there. But let's keep going.
The F down? No, sir, you need to sit the F down.
But she's got to conform with her fellow tether. She has no choice, right? And because, again, like I said, a lot of these immigrant women and men, when they get on the Republican side or the conservative side, it's not about like being. It's not about cultural heritage. That's why Black Americans have the way we view it. They view it from a place of, I need to appease to whites because they want white acceptance because they're immigrants. So they want to, hold on, y'all. They want white acceptance because they're not from here. So they don't want to have to deal with, if ICE come to get me, then maybe they'll keep me here because I was, agreeing with all of what the white said. But let's keep going. I done dropped my damn mouse. Hold on. God, my bad, y'all. Damn, my bad, y'all. I gotta go back to where I was at. All right, there we go. We was at like 2 minutes in, I think. Yeah.
And arrest you for violating. You're telling her to sit the F down? No, sir, you need to sit the F down. You will be sitting the F down in jail once the federal government come after you and arrest you for violating the FACE Act. I'm tired of these gatekeepers. You are a gatekeeper, sir. We got gatekeepers on the left side. We got gatekeepers on the right side. It never seems to fail. I'm just so over it with both sides, the far left and the far right. You're not doing anything great. You're not doing nothing under the it's nothing new with you guys. It's like I'm at a loss for words at the moment because I'm so disappointed in how this country is like operating with these far left and far right radicals. It's disgusting what's going on here. And you guys are taking full on advantage of it. And you got elected officials co-signing the that you all pulled, in Minneapolis. It's unacceptable because now you're giving the ideas to these radicals in New York City to storm Christian churches out here in New York City, which I hope and pray they're not stupid enough to do it. Because I'm going to tell you something. If you go up in an urban community and target a Black Christian church, it will not end well for you guys. I'm telling you that right now. It's going to get ugly. It's going to get very ugly. Don't expect those pastors to back down and their worshipers. Somebody's going to get dragged out. Yes, you're going to get dragged out. So take my word of advice. If you're thinking about doing it in New York City, I'm going to pray for your souls. I'm going to really pray for you because it's unacceptable. Targeting churches and places where people have to worship. I think that you guys are ballsy enough to target the synagogues because you think that it's okay to target, the Jewish community, and it's not okay. But let me tell you something, baby. You go to a Christian church and pull that crap, it will not end well.
Well, let me say this too. A lot of people not gonna like this take, but I gotta add it. Unfortunately, most Black Americans are indoctrinated. So you have a lot of Black American churches who are Christian, but they also don't rock with anything that has to do with, they rock with everything that has to do with the Democratic Party. Just is what it is. Most Black Americans support the Democrats. Most Black Americans, unfortunately, follow this stuff because a lot of us are lost. The grassroots, I know a lot of y'all, the grassroots, that I hope you realize that you are in the minority. You are the bottom 5%, or not the bottom, but you are a part of the 5%, the 10%. 90% of Black women voted for Kamala Harris. Like 88% or maybe 82% of Black men voted for Kamala Harris. So like we can't negate that point. So I think that's the difference. Even though I think she's correct, I'm not saying she's incorrect, but I think the difference is in a white Christian church, although I disagree with them on some of their political points, at the end of the day, their racism correlates, their racism and anti-Blackness and anti-whatever it is, they view that under the scope of their religion, right? That's how they view it. They're like, well, this is my religion and this religion correlates to me hating everybody. That's how a lot of them view it. Not all of them, but that's how a lot of them view it. In Black America, they also believe in the form of like the white Jesus, and they look up to the white God, but then also their political affiliation is the complete opposite. So they'll preach the Bible, but then they'll say like they'll still support homosexuality, but they'll preach the Bible. They'll preach the Bible, but they'll still support abortion. They'll preach the Bible, but they'll still support out of wedlock children. They'll still support a lot of the over sexualization that happens in this world. They'll still support drinking. They'll still support smoking. They'll still support all of the negative things that people do. But they'll say that they're Christians. You know what I'm saying? Now, Christians not supposed to be perfect. We all make mistakes. People, it's not a problem. Nobody's begging people to be perfect. But what it is you can't do things and then expect it to be like, okay, this is things that I do. I don't agree with this part of the Bible because I just don't like it. So I'm just not going to do that. Like if you make a mistake, then you have to repent from it and say that you're wrong. Right. That's what they don't do. They like to pick and choose. Unfortunately, a lot of the Black church people, they like to pick and choose whenever they want to uphold their religion. So we got to add that context as well. And I know people don't like to hear that, but it's the truth. Somebody said double-minded like an MF. It's for real. It's for real. So what is this?
Order in the court, please. Miss Judge on the mic.
Okay, it's AI. I'm not listening to no AI stuff.
I normally don't respond to things like this, but F it. I'm going to do it this time. I think Nicki Minaj has made it very clear how she feels about African Americans in this country. I don't think she's one of them, obviously. And she should, under Trump's rules, she should be deported because I don't think, reportedly, that she is a legal citizen here. She is undocumented. And so she has shown her disdain for African Americans. So why are you supporting her? Why are you buying her records? She's also supporting, I have lots of gay friends who love Nicki Minaj. Why are you supporting this homophobic, bigoted, ignorant woman. You should not be supporting her. Nicki
Well, I don't care about her being homophobic, but I do care about her being anti-Black American.
Minaj, this is clearly out of her depth. She doesn't understand politics. She doesn't understand journalism. And I'm not surprised that she is weighing.
And most women are homophobic. Let's keep it 100. Most women don't like gay people. They just operate in their feelings, so they like to befriend them. But, you know, when the going gets tough, whenever they come across a straight man, first thing they do is they attack his sexuality because they're homophobic. More women are more homophobic than men, if we're going to be honest. They are. Because they play in gay dudes' faces, but then they use the sexuality as the same attack. So most women are homophobic. They just don't like to be honest about it.
In on something that is beyond her capacity. What I will say to her is, because she put a doll, I think she put the Chucky doll in there. A better symbol that should have been represented in that picture is a pick-me doll, because Nicki Minaj is a pick-me. She will do anything that is expedient for her politically. And again, she's ignorant. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She's always weighing in on things that she doesn't know about. Nicki Minaj should just sit the f down. And by the way, isn't she married to an alleged pedophile? And she has the nerve to say something disparaging about and something homophobic. I'm pretty sure that maybe that's part of the reason that she is cozying up to the Trump administration for some sort of leniency for her family members.
Facts.
And it's just very transparent. So Nicki Minaj,
Facts.
F off, stop being a homophobic bigot, and get a life and some brains.
Okay.
So I guess he made it twice. So that was a video. He made one video from his phone, and this is another video. I didn't know he was going to say the same exact thing. But yeah, Don Lemon was speaking facts, though. I ain't gonna lie. He's speaking facts. He's speaking facts. Okay, so this is another tweet that she made. I didn't see this one. LOL, and I purposely, okay, y'all can see it. LOL, and I purposely wrote it that way because I knew that would be the only way to get the cocksuckers to post about it. They would have all collectively ignored the despicable behavior displayed by Lemonhead. I'm glad they're angry. They're about to get angrier. Okay, so again, by cocksuckers, she mean the gays. It's funny because a big portion of her fan base are gays. I'll probably say the majority of her fan base are homosexuals. So it just goes to show, like, most women in general are homophobic, which again I don't care. Could care less. Oh boy! Shout out to Charlie to becoming a member. Much love to you, Charlie. So that's pretty much it, y'all. That's pretty much it on this situation. I'm not really surprised by it. Hold on, what's this? Nicki Minaj's 2018 illegal immigrants post resurfaces amid Trump support. In a June 2018 Facebook post, Minaj described the terror of being separated from her parents as a child and called for an end to the Trump administration's family separation policy. Now, with Trump back in office pushing mass deportations, critics highlight her shift as she praises the president, supports the SAVE Act, and mocks anti-ICE protesters. Born in Trinidad and Tobago, she moved to Queens at 5 with her mother, holds lawful permanent resident status, and faces internet petitions and faces online petitions for deportation, though no official action targets her, while defenders call it selective outrage. Well, I heard from her own mouth that she was not a legal immigrant. I heard that from her own mouth. I think it was a Twitter space or something. I could have been AI, but I thought that she said that she was illegal. Yeah, say right here. Nicki Minaj admits that she came to the U.S. as an illegal immigrant in the Facebook post. Yeah. I came to this country as an illegal immigrant at 5 years old. Yeah, exactly. So no one tripping. So this is the post that she made. I came to this country as an illegal immigrant at 5 years old. I can't imagine the horror of being in a strange place, having my parents stripped away from me at the age of 5. This is so scary to me. Please stop this. Can you try to imagine the terror and panic these kids feel right now? Well, these kids, this was in 2018, but these children should not be blaming America. They should be blaming their parents for putting them in a situation where the parents knowingly understand that it is illegal to do something like this. So that's not America's fault. It's not because of racism. It's not because of any of those things. It's because of the bad decision making for their those Latin parents, or wherever parents you come from. If you don't matter where you're from, it's the parents' fault because you're literally committing a crime. You can't go to most countries. You cannot just go there. I can't go to Mexico illegally. I can't do that. I can't go to Canada illegally. You notice that the outrage is never for these other countries? Try to go to Mexico illegally. See what's going to happen to you. Try to go to Canada illegally. See what's going to happen to you. Try to go to any of these countries that these people come from illegally as an American and see what happens to you. Where's the outrage? Where's the protesting? This is the racism? No, it's called laws and policies. You can't do stuff in other countries. You saw people get treated over there in those Middle Eastern countries for having like hash of weed or like oils and stuff like that. You can't have that stuff over there. You can't bring a blunt over to Saudi Arabia. You can't bring a blunt over to Dubai. It's a city, but you can't do that. You're gonna go to jail for a long time. You see what happened with Brittany Griner? Where's the outrage? Where's the protesting against that country? Where's the protesting against Russia? You can't do that stuff over there. It's called crime. It's called law and order. It's not tough on crime like they need to be. Let's keep it on it. We not tough on crime, and the reason why is because we make so much money from the jail system. We make so much money from criminals. But America is not tough on crime. The outrage should be towards these other countries. You can't do none of the stuff over there that you can do over here. You can't. You allowed to finesse your way through the system and eventually get paperwork over here. You can't do that in none of these other countries. You don't got the leeway like that. But you don't see any of these people who are so mad. America is so bad and racist and we're going to protest. Go to Mexico and try to protest against Mexico. Go to Mexico and take your American flag and go to Mexico City and swing your American flag and say F Mexico and talk about the Mexican president and see what's going to happen to you. See what's going to happen to you. Try it and see what's going to happen. They're going to make your eyeballs and they're going to turn it into soup. You're going to be looking stupid. You're going to be eating eyeball soup and it's going to be your own eyeballs. Try it. You can't do that because they don't have a freedom of speech over there like they do over here. Go to China and think you can have freedom of speech. You can't. There's no freedom of speech over there. You don't see people protesting in. Crazy as hell. You muted? No, I'm not. Y'all got to come out and come back in. People do that every single day. Come out and come back in. Try to come out and come back in. I shouldn't be muted. Yeah. I don't know why. I think it's just YouTube, y'all. It just be doing that. It's weird. Come out and come back in. Can somebody type that? Let me see. Come out. Let me do it. Come out and come back in, y'all. Yeah, it just be YouTube doing that. I don't know why. It's like after like an hour or two, it start to tweaking. But you just got to come out and come back in. I can hear you. All right, bet. So yeah, just the selective outrage. Look at this. Oh my God. Hey, y'all niggas hitting that? I ain't hitting that. I ain't hitting it. I'm cool. I ain't hitting that. I'll pass on that one. I'm good on that. I ain't on nothing with that one, man. I don't know what that is. I'm good on that. Somebody said that's Nicki. Yeah, that's called a botched BBL. Yeah, that's what these BBLs look like. And ladies, and I'm so glad we showing this right now because ladies, I want y'all to understand something. Ladies, y'all do too much of comparing yourselves to these fake women on the internet. They use filters. They have professional camera people that can make them look like anything. They'll never post the natural them. So all you beautiful women that's listening that be trying to make yourselves kind of, not saying all of y'all in here do that, but so many of our women, specifically our younger women, try to exude the look of so many of women like this. And this is what they walking around looking like. This is what they walking around looking like. This is how this is the reality of it. This will never get posted on her page. She'll never post this. This is what she actually looks like. Somebody said that MF look like that MF frowning. They don't even want to be back there. They don't even want to be back there. It's falling off the bone, but not in a good way. It's like it's undercooked. It's like you just boiled chicken. Like you took chicken wings and put it in water and tried to cook it like that. And you undercooked it. It's not right. So ladies, understand that this is who some of the women that y'all be trying to like look like. This is what they look like in real life. They're not what you think. Don't let the Instagram and the likes and attention and the edits and all that. Don't let it fool you. Be you. Be you. Anyway, that's the Nicki Minaj situation. Somebody said it looked like a toothpick with olives on it. Y'all messed up. I'm gonna have to edit this a lot.